man, you guys are killing me. You want watermelon, cornbread, and vodka? Jesus Christ. So, all right, as usual, let me know if there's any problems whatsoever. And you know, I just realized something. I also have to change the who's and what's this thingamajig. Wait a second, hold on. Can you guys even hear me? Yeah, you can. Okay, cool. I also have to change the now starting or now entering the Chronicles bit for this. Anyway, hi, and welcome to the premiere of the new Thursday night series powered by alcohol. So, one of the reasons why this is actually the reason why this is taking place is because the followers of right here on this channel have really been demonstrating their love for what we do, and I really want to start paying you guys back in some way with obviously more content. Also, Patreon patrons, they are also do new maps and stuff like that. So every Thursday, 8:30 p.m., we're going to have, or I'm going to have, or someone's going to have this stream. Hold on here. It seems like I am really, really loud. Seems like I'm almost like modding out here. Okay, there we go. So if my levels are now too low, just let me know, but they should be okay now. But yeah, it's once a month. I'm going to reinstate the video atlas, which goes over the world of Evandale, the various countries, customs, and people within it. And tonight we're going to discuss one of those countries, which is where the Chronicles of the Five, the live game on Tuesdays at 8:30 Eastern, is about to go to. This will be the first time that any of those characters have ever been to this rather vicious tribal country that is primarily orcs and Sadrath Eel. But what the hell is a Sadrath Eel? So we're also going to go over some of the ancestries of Evandale, which while it is covered on the Evandale YouTube channel, some of that should be updated maybe, or because you guys are here and watching, then I'll also go over that. And of course, chat. Now, throughout all of this, I'm just going to start babbling, and any questions that you guys have, newcomer or veteran or whatever, feel free to just blurt it out, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything. By the way, if you happen to hear a cat like a meow, meow, my cat's acting a little bit on the crazy side. No catnip involved. He's not powered by catnip. It's like powered by tequila-infused watermelons. Thank you very much. Inside joke on the Discord channel, on the Discord server, which, by the way, somewhere around here, I'll post what the Discord thing is. Or actually, I think if you do a exclamation point or bang Discord, it should come up with something. Hold on, what if I do that? Discord, did I add that in? No, I did not. Okay, so anyway, there's a Discord server, so if you guys ever wanted to be involved in that, then you can. Anyway, so first off, thank you all so much. Amanda, you are a freaking rock star. You managed to bring in a lot of followers last time, and for a stream that really has not marketed itself at all, we are about to hit affiliate status, which is kind of cool. A lot of channels will hit that within 2 weeks because they know what the hell they're doing. And if you guys have been following this channel at all and watching our videos, then you realize we don't know what the hell we're doing, so that's okay. All right, so who are we for anyone here who's new? And if you are new, introduce yourself here in the chat, right here. I'd love to know who you are. Evandale is not only a fantasy world, but I'm quickly learning that it is a whatchamacallit. Ooh, someone just did something awesome. Evandale is also a community. People have come together. They started to do things and chat with each other. That was your host alert. Oh, Amanda, thank you. You know, it doesn't seem like the alerts are there. If you are watching this for the first time, somebody follow the stream so I can see whether or not an alert pops up, like right over here. It should. But anyway, Amanda, thank you for hosting. Definitely appreciate it. So Thursdays are going to be about a whole bunch of stuff, and one Thursday a month is going to be the Video Atlas series, which is going to be a pre-produced but live stream of the various countries, cultures, and customs of Evandale. All right, so really quick, for those of you that are brand new, the world of Evandale has been in creation for over 38 years now, which basically means I'm like older. I'm as old as 5 Minutes After Dirt. So sometime in 1977, I started playing this incredible game called Dungeons and Dragons, which is why we're here in the channel. Pay homage to Gary Gygax, who I believe died yesterday. Was the anniversary of his death. Thank you, Gary. You will always be immortalized with our polyhedral dice and many stories that are all told due to your creation. You and Dave Arneson, obviously. So in 1977 or so, I was introduced to D&D, and sometime around 1982, I started creating a world. That world is now known as Evandale and has now evolved to be, it's small. I mean, we're not huge at all, but it's certainly large enough that it's getting a little bit of attention from some awesome people. And apparently we fill a niche, and that's all that really matters. As long as if you guys enjoy it, then that's all that matters. Okay, so I want to address something. In the Tuesday night game, there is, in the Chronicles of the Five, there's a, the party just got teleported to Sta-Abri. All right, so what is Sta-Abri? Well, first off, let me see if I can pull this thing up. This is going to be really weird because I don't think I can with the map. Let me see. Okay, cool. All right, sweet. So now you're looking at my screen, and you can see that, all right, all the players are gone. All right, so in future Thursdays, this will be modified and whatnot, so they won't be there, unfortunately. And I love my people. I don't know where they are. But hold on for 1 second. Let me bring up the map and whatnot, and I'll show you what Sta-Abri is. I'll give you a little bit of a history as to where they're going, and I'll also point out where it's going to be. Sta-Abri will be the subject of a video series in the future that's really going to go over each of the clans, because there are 16 major clans and umpteen thousand minor clans. And they also view magic in a very different way, which was hinted at the last episode, in episode 18 of season 2, where there was a talk of the Slyn who had access to the magic that was pre-divine, in a way, or rather they got cast out by divine, blah blah blah. But so Sta-Abri has been historically practicing that. But let me see if I can find a map for you that would pull this up. Yeah, and if I do this and I do that, okay, cool. So this is just a bare bones map of Evandale, and it's one of the many that are out there. This particular one, however, let me see if I can. Hello, why can't I zoom in? There we go. Okay, cool. Where am I? I'm way out east. Okay. So right here in the hordes of right here in the hordes of Sta-Abri, this is an area which just has way too many tribes in it. A lot of people. Well, I can't say way too many because I kind of like who they are. But in this area, all the way from the south down here to the north up here, the tribes that exist in Sta-Abri are holdovers from an ancient time. And unlike the modern governments of Ivari to the west and the horror-filled woods of Mutvia to the east, Sta-Abri has managed to really remain its own. Where the characters are going, however, is down here. Now, if you guys have been following the Tuesday series at all, there's a place known as Kirlia Dax, which is right here. This is where the characters were during Face Off, which is episode 17, and had come from in episode 18, where there's a tower by the name of Karathanan, which would happen to be this tower right here. They were in the heart of Nightmare, which is what Dra'anan is. Well, immediately to the east of that is Sta-Abri. These people down here are hardened because Dra'anan is just, they call themselves the God State because they believe their leader to actually be a god. And whether or not it is, I mean, that's up to your interpretation, right? So, we don't know. I mean, I kind of have an idea, but I don't think it really matters what I think. So, let me see if I can pull up another map, because I want to show you something else. In the world lore of Evandale, an event had taken place too, which is alluded to in the Tuesday campaigns. That event is known as the Interregnum. Now, this had taken place as part of an ongoing campaign. It was actually the result of player actions. It was like a level 1 through 20 or so, or in some cases a level 9 through 20 campaign, a series of campaigns in Oh, my music just stopped. Why? Oh, because Siri thought I was talking to her. Come on, you. Play. Thank you. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's get up Barren Wastelands here as a nice music since we're talking about. Here we go. Yes, Barren Wastes. So, oh, that's so much better. Yes. Yes, there we go. So, sometime around 2011 or so, or perhaps even 2010, a series of campaigns that was set in Evandale was started to be run. And initially it was like 5 different campaigns. And all of them were in different parts of Evandale, and they were all doing totally different things. And none of these campaigns, with the exception of the few players who were in one campaign or the other, knew that they all knew that other campaigns were being run, but they didn't know the content of those campaigns. Well, several years later, in 2013, I think. In April 2013, we held EvanCon, which was we just rented a room in a in someplace local to me, and all of us, there was like 20 of us in there. We all came together. It was divided up into 3 separate campaign tables, and 3 of the original 5 campaigns had come there. Unbeknownst to them, up until this point, the players didn't even know that they were all converging in on this one place known as Corellia Dax. And eventually they would all fight together. They didn't really know each other. They just, as a matter of fact, when they first met, there was some skepticism, like, who the hell are you? I don't know. And we're talking about multiple campaign parties all converging in on this. So it started off with like branches of a tree, very, very small twigs that would soon lead to limbs, that would soon lead to branches, then to limbs, then the trunk. And then they were like, oh my God, we're all in the same place and we're all here for the same reason. It can be said that, Kathos is a god of fate and all this had something to do with it. No, it was actually all their own actions. And Corellia Dax was the focus for the horrors that would take place because of what it was that they were doing there. They were trying to bring the god fate, or goddess, if you will, but deity, because the deities in Evandale don't have a gender. They're kind of beyond that whole biological stuff. And Phaon, a deity of murderous death, called the Sister of Phaer, a god of natural death. She was starting to make a physical presence here. And there's a whole article that I wrote a while back called The Physics of Religion as it pertains to Evandale. And in there it describes how she was able to do that to some degree. Well, nonetheless, all of these players came together and they realized, no, under no circumstances are they going to allow this, because now they're all like levels 18 through 20 or something like that. It was like 20 of them. They all converged on this massive like 8-foot table. It was like 3 feet by 8 or 4 feet by 8 or whatever it was. And there was this massive map, equally large as the table. And they were all moving their figures from their various corners of the map where they entered into this one area. Then they all converged on this one point, and they had to all fight to get there. So there were like 4 GMs all at the same time working to get all the players together. When they finally encountered the misty, shadowy-like essence of Phaon started to make a physical presence in the realm, one of them by a player by the name of Jeff, a good long-standing friend of mine. He was the original Dimitri Vladescu. Actually, he's the only Dimitri Vladescu. He then knocked an arrow, fired it, and that arrow then hit Phaon, this deity of death, just as it was becoming physical in this realm. Well, the soul of a god had yet to really embody the body, and the body was still weak. So with I'm pretty certain that Jeff just rolled a 20 on that. I think he did, and got right here in between the eyes, and that thing faded away. And immediately, all of the characters from all the campaigns had come together. Once that threat was done, and they started to put the world back to right. And the way that they used to do, or the way that they did that, was by reassembling the pieces of a Caltrify helix that they had all found. Now, the Caltrify helix was the first iteration of a physical universe before Scythia created this one that this map describes. That physical universe ended up being nothing more than just a physical thing, a lump of something. Well, when a second physical universe came into being, because there can only be one, in Evandale anyway, Scythia created this one. That actually shattered the original fragments, or shattered the original thing, and broke it apart into something known as the Caltrify helix. various pieces of that helix were then distributed all throughout the known physical universe. And as it turns out, most of it, of course, was in one place called Evandale, or later called Evandale. So where the players are going now is to go find the Black Arrow. The Black Arrow is that arrow that Dimitri shot and killed Phaon with. Well, it was just a normal arrow, I think. It may have been silver, knowing him. But either way, it was not an artifact or anything like that. It wasn't like a god-killing arrow. But as soon as it touched a deity, boom, it became an artifact. And that Black Arrow was never seen. Now, it did appear in a couple of other campaigns here and there, but the one that we're talking about on Tuesday nights is kind of the important one. So for purposes of this discussion, all the others were fantastic. All right, so what does Stah Aabri have to do with it? Well, it is said that when the players, they all had a part of that fragments of this Calcifer Helix, they all had these helices, if you will, and they started to combine them into a set configuration, and in so doing, kind of rebooted the world. And that reboot caused a vast amount of destruction, because as they did so, they had to put a certain god or a god as the key god. Who would be the god to rule over this? The only way to redo that would be to do it with the Calcifer Helix, which contained the blueprint for all of physical reality and anything that came after that. So it was it was like one of those, oh my God, we're about to redo everything. Well, they did. And in so doing, they ended up reinventing Evandale to a certain degree. So this is the original Stah Aabri as it appeared many years ago when I first created it. As you can see, there are many different kinds of hordes that are all within this. Erenal, by the way, is the name of the continent. There's a couple of continents within Evandale. We are really only exploring one. So future campaigns, future videos, etc. will be more about those other continents. But this was the original one. After the interregnum, Stah Aabri was blasted apart. Let me see if I can find that one. Well, I'll put it to you this way. So this is the world of Evandale. Let me scroll out. This is the world of Evandale as it is in the canon. You can kind of get an idea of it. There we go. Hold on. Let me move this. There you are. That's... Stop it. Windows. I don't want to maximize. Thank you. So that's the world of Evandale as it is now. And this is pretty much what I'm only ever going to use. But after the interregnum, this thing was torn to shreds. I ended up creating a secondary map, which was this one. And if you want to have an understanding of what was affected by it, let me give an example. This was the map, and all of the dark regions in here were all of the lands that were destroyed. So areas like Tala all the way down to the south, and Mala, this is Tala down here, this is Mala here, utterly destroyed. The bazaar where some of the characters had been, and fairly famous within for the players of Evandale, the bazaar all of a sudden became lakefront property. So Mutfia itself completely lost half. It lost the entire eastern half, and the Isle of Amstrad, where the Cerulean Cabal they rule, was completely sunk. Their magics couldn't even prevent it. And Dra Anan, which was the epicenter of all of that destruction, right here in Krylia Dax, destroyed. So the interregnum, this would be the alternate universe that is mentioned during the Chronicles. And so much of the world was forever changed. So much so that it ended up looking more like this. And if we come in here, you'll begin to see what had become of Stah Aabri. So this was one of the maps that I had made before I switched over to a different style. And you can see that there's a lot missing, particularly right in here. This one clan, known as the Void Crawlers, was utterly destroyed. Or excuse me, it was utterly isolated from the rest of it as water came pouring through, and rivers that had formerly run through this area completely became inland seas. So there's a which font? This one here, the Void Crawlers and this whole thing. That's a font I got special permission by its creator. It's the font is known as Epistolar, I think, EPISTOLAR, I want to say. and I got permission from the creator of it to use it in a variety of levels. So it's really cool. So yeah, I'm using it for this, and it's friggin' awesome fun as you can see. So anyway, so Star Brie really was. It just turned into. I mean, much of the world was destroyed. Right in here. What? Hey, wow, we're talking about apocalyptic events. Go away, Tavern Music. We don't want you. We want something sad. Well, we're not sad. We want something epic. Give me something epic. Cry Havoc. No, we usually play that elsewhere. Give me another one here. Give me... Ooh, what's this? Hold on. Come on. Play. Oh, it is so moody, you can't even hear it. That's how dark and dismal it is. Come on. Oh, there's something there. With cornbread. More black and grim, like Batman's watermelons. Sure. That works. So anyway, so this in here used to be... this used to be Krillia Dax. This was the Northern Ranger Mountains, and then this blast just... I mean, it obliterated all of this land to the south and caused these folds in the land, now multiple ranges of mountains that radiated out. Meanwhile, Sta Brie, with the exception of this area in here, was, for the most part, unaffected. And they have their own reasons to suggest why they were unaffected by it. But where they are now is right here in Red Hand, or I had called it, oh, that's right, yeah, Dead Claw and Red Hand. The Slyn had, I'm going to teaser, or not teaser, spoiler. The Slyn had called it Red Claw, I believe, and that's what they educated him on. That's what they educated the party on. It's actually called Red Hand and Dead Claw. The contested area here is known as Red Claw. Sure, I just made that up. I can do that. I created this crap. Anyway, so that's what is going to be developed as part of a map. To do that, however, we're going to have to kick up my favorite program, and this. Now we are going to actually create the map that's going to be used as the basis of the next series of adventures in the Chronicles. And I will get that up in here. 1 second. So let's create a new map. Wonder Draft. I highly recommend. Man, if anybody is creating maps, seriously. Hold on. Let me turn this thing down. There we go. How's the level of music to voice now? You guys let me know. I can't hear a final mix through the cans. Unfortunately, it's not how my mixer works. I don't think it is. Nope, I have no idea. Anyway, check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2. Okay, there we go. So I highly recommend, if you are a map creator, that you guys get Wonder Draft. Another great program is Inkarnate, or Inkarnate, I guess, Inkarnate. And I'm sure that there are many other programs out there. By the way, tonight's music and sound, as it says in the upper right corner, is not by Sirenscape. It is by Tabletop Audio, another absolutely fantastic accessory to any kind of a tabletop game. We're not sponsored by them. I use it constantly, and I highly recommend that you guys do it. Get it. What's sacrilege? What is sacrilege, Johnny? Incarnate's been removing a lot of features if you're on there. Oh, yeah. I'm not out to slam anyone who supports the RPG industry, but I will say that I switched from Inkarnate to Wonder Draft because their licensing originally in the agreements, they say in the term, or had said in the terms, that you had to be loyal to Sirenscape. I love Sirenscape. I use it every Tuesday for hours on end. It just so happens that right now I'm using Tabletop Audio for the background stuff. But now that you mention it, hold on here. Let me see if yep, it's this. And let me do this. TabletopAudio.com. There. Let me move. I can't even move this over. Get this over there. Okay. There. There you go, Johnny. To be fair, tabletopaudio.com. Anyway, so I use Wonder Draft. All right, so we're going to create Sta Brie right here. I'm going to go straight up with a 4K Ultra HD template in a landscape mode. I created my own theme, which is called Evandale, which contains its own colors and stuff like that. I don't know if it's possible for me to export a theme, but if I can, I'll be more than happy to share it with anyone who wants it. Now, there's... all right, so it all starts off in basic just MTC. So, hold on. Let me get this to a place where you guys can hear. And let me bring this down a little bit. There we go. Cool. And I'll put this under the chat over here. And then we will bring this down to right there. Okay, cool. So it does start off all with C, so you do have to start painting it over. Many of the controls of this are very much like Photoshop, which is kind of cool. So if you're familiar with it, mouse wheels and whatnot are really, really handy. You can scroll by doing a control mouse wheel. You can adjust the size of your brush with an alt mouse wheel, etc. So since we're doing an inland thing, there is no fill tool. That's the one thing that they don't have on this, or at least if they do, I don't know about it. Since we're doing inland, we're going to do an inland map here. I know that let me fill that in, and there we go. Okay, cool. So if you take a look here, these are mountains. We have rivers that come down into this area. The pretty cool part is that we can take a snapshot of this, and then we can load it in as kind of an overlay behind the scenes with some transparency. This way we can actually use this as a template. I may do that later on for the rivers and whatnot, just so it remains... What? Wait. What? Wait. Amanda? What? What? Why am I waiting? Or we make more frog... Get away! Go away! Go away. No more frog farmers. That's in Mutfia. That's what they do. No, this is a world unlike any other. Hold on, let me pull up Wonder Draft again. So, oh boy, you guys can barely see. Hold on. Let me get the thingy here. Where's the chat? Chat, where are you, chat? Chat. Here we go. Let me see. Oh, here you go. Background color. This way you do have a black background color for the chat. And let me see. Sorry, you missed it earlier. Oh, it's Wonder Draft, Ches. Wonder Draft. Highly, highly, highly recommend it, my friend. It's really, really good. Okay, so background color. Let's see. I'm trying to get a color in the background of the chat, but no, it's not working. Okay, so I apologize. But what I can do is do this. I said do this. Thank you. And bring this over here. And then get rid of that. And get rid of that. And there you go. So now we can actually see the chat. Chezo meets Steve. He's through your campaign team. Oh, sweet. Hey, what's up? Yeah, so, hey, happy GM Day, man. Apparently it just passed, and I think Matt Mercer sent out a tweet, and apparently today is International GM's Day. Yesterday was like the US GM Day. I don't know the difference between them. But yeah, this is, it's pretty cool. You have here, let's see, what do you got? Oh, so you're in the market for a detailed map tool to build out your world in the above. Yeah, seriously. I highly recommend sponsoring on Patreon. I think on Patreon. Is it Patreon? No, it's not Patreon. That's Foundry VTT, which we use. We don't use Roll20 or anything else. Wonder Draft. This program here is friggin' amazing, and you'll see why in a second. It has a wide catalog of symbols that you'll be able to use. You can create awesome mountains. However, it's more like a Tolkien type of map, a Tolkien map, as opposed to like the 3D relief, which is my style. I also enjoy this style, which is why I switched to it, and it really does allow for a really quick rendering of stuff. Well, you'll see. All right, so first off, we know that there's a... Where are you, map? There you go. So we know that in this region here, which is what we're... right in here, we know that there are mountains. This is just all photoshopped with various brushes that I created to render mountains and stuff like that. And then I used a bevel, the bevel tool, in order to provide all the shadows and the cracks in the earth and kind of give it a little bit of life. Other than that, it just looks really weird if you don't turn that on. But it also consumes wicked amount of processes, because take a look how large the map is and take a look at the details. Alrighty, so we know that there's a mountain range here that's fairly wide. We know that this is a hilly region in the Deadclaw and the Red Hand with with this mountain range here. Then we have a much steeper mountain range here. This is part of an older range that came out, and the same thing as this area down in here. This was fairly new and was caused by the blast, as you, if you will, or at least in part caused by the blast of Dra'anan. At least I think, is that right? Do I have that right? When I created it, I had a whole story as to why these things were created. Anyway, so first we're going to create a series of mountains in here. Then and it's going to start off looking bland. I'm going to warn you in advance. So here are the symbols that you can choose, which is pretty cool. You have your basics, your typical buildings and stuff like that. Let's take a look at some of those. So we have bridges and cracks in the ground. There's symbols for various monsters and other things like that. But then there's also tons of buildings. And the cool part is that while you can choose your whichever set you want, there are also premiums that you can purchase. Again, highly recommend it. And I wish somebody would sponsor us. Or you can even search for it if you happen to know it. You can also have your custom colors created here. You can override the symbol scales, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to teach you how to use one of the traffic. You're smart. You'll figure it out. But let's get back to creation of ranges. This one here is what you would use. Ironically enough, while the icon of this is a volcano, there is no volcano here, and I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway, I use these sets here, the penciled mountain large and small. This is the scale of it. It's actually fairly small at 100. You can boost that up to 400 if you go into the preferences and override, which you can do. You can override the scale. At 100, this is the native resolution of the icon. Once you start bumping it up to that, then it starts looking more and more fuzzy because it's not vector, it's raster. But let's see what happens here. Now, we're just going to start creating this. Tell me that doesn't look cool already, right? It looks like a Tolkien map. It's actually pretty cool. So we know that this was a fairly thick range. I know, it's not vector. But the cool part is that you can create, I mean, if you just go into new, I don't want to discard it. If you go into new to create something, you create this thing to be massive, like 10,000 pixels by 20,000 or something. I think you can make it that large. And then you override it, or you keep it at that resolution. These or tokens, if you will, are going to be so small on your map, but think about what the size of a continent is. So it's pretty cool. Have your scale in mind first before you use this, because you can also, through overlays, set your hexes or whatever it is that you want to use. Like we can create a, that's flat hex. I tend to use pointed hex because most journey goes from east to west, it seems. So it's just easier to count out that way. You can have that, and then you can just change the size of the hex. Once you know what the size is, just do your calculations and figure out what that is. And here's the cool part. You can then toss in a legend. Right. Where are you? There's a... Did I already create it? Oh, create. Yeah, and then you can, if you want, create a legend. Now, of course, you can change the size of that. I just wanted to demonstrate really quick how to do that. So anyway, let's come into this area. We don't need our hex either, so let's turn that off. And let's continue creating our mountains. So symbols here. Here's the very large mountains. And the symbol scale is 100. So I'm just going to continue to create these mountains down in here. And all I'm going to do is just create the rough mountain range. And it was fairly large in some parts. Now, since we're talking about detail, like right in here, we just create a beautiful little valley in there, and who knows what's in there. So we're going to create or give reason for that later. Here's another valley with that beautiful little entrance in there. Let's go back at the reference document here, the reference doc, and we can see. Okay, so we've just drawn out this area. Then we're going to fill this in with some hills. So that's to the southwest, that's to the northeast, and then we have rivers that come down off of it. Then we have this range of mountains here. Where the players are going to be transported is somewhere in this region, so I'm really not going to concern myself too much with what's with the details of the map outside of this region. That'll be more for the Sabri Video Atlas series, which the Patreon patrons then get the map of that I'll be using and creating well in advance. And these things are usually pretty highly detailed and can be on the order of like 8,000 pixels. So it's larger than UHD. So I'm seriously thinking about providing those maps in a 4K res as well in a landscape, so you can easily display it on most monitors, like a 1920 by 1080 or something. Anyway, so let's come back to Wonder Draft. Take a look here. So I'm going to estimate that this was here. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. Let's get those range of mountains in there. Now for this, because these mountains are fairly new, they're also fairly sharp. So I'm going to start off by creating a little bit of a jagged movement here. Now I'm going to use the smaller mountains and come in on that. Let's get in there a little bit. Let's see if we can create a range of mountains that is really, really sharp. I may go back. You know what? Hold up. I'm just doing a Control-Z. I'm on a PC. I'm going to reuse this and change my symbol scale to be a little bit larger so you can see the effect. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Let's give this a little bit of variance. It doesn't need to be exact. It's a fantasy world after all. And Johnny, I see that you have a question. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Some DMs like Matt Mercer put themselves into the game as some kind of powerful NPC. Do I have, or am I thinking of having an NPC that's technically based on yourself? Ooh, on me? Oh, man. Lizzie, hey, good evening. Yeah, Amanda, by the way, yeah, you can't drop the grid on that. You know, there's an NPC in this world, started off with the name of Nesorius. When I was a kid, I also liked dinosaurs, and this wizard had a name like Nesorius because it just sounds like a dinosaur, and I thought it was cool because he was big and powerful like a T-Rex. Tyrannosaurus, Nesorius. And then later on, as the world developed, I was like, that's kind of corny. So I changed it to be Nessorus. And Nessorus has made an appearance every now and then. Whenever you hear him, hold on. You should hear something like this. That's Nessorus. Nessorus Re Sve. The Re Sve, Re just means of, Sve are the lands in Tumbria that he owns. So no one knows his real last name. Nessorus Re Sve just means Nessorus of Sve. Anyone who knows Tumbrian lore would be able to... And Tumbria, by the way, is kind of like the Bavaria-esque place in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's how long ago this world was developed. It's kind of like the child toy maker and all the barons and archdukes and all that. It later evolved into something much more mature, but nonetheless. Nessorus was an elf who... His original story was that he was an elf who got banished to hell or something or banished to another plane of existence for his hubris in thinking he was the most powerful in magic for all of time. So much so that he ended up challenging the deity of magic. For those of you that have been following the Evandale game series, you may have heard a lot about how the consort of the physical deity, Sithlia, one by the name of Aveen or Evan, hence Evandale or Home of Evan, was killed and the blood poured into the land, and that created arcane magic as those wave of energy got blasted all throughout everything in the first age. Okay, I told you all that to tell you this. Nessorus was this elf wizard who thought that he was so powerful that he could challenge the deity of magic. That deity of magic was created with the act of murder. So it wasn't just that death was divided into murderous death and natural death called Fein and Fëir, but other deities had also come into existence by the act of the Slin. The Slin, by the way, being cavern elves in Pathfinder 2e. So, or the Slindar, as they are properly called, by other elves. Their name is actually a pejorative. They have their own name, which not even Hallion of the Tuesday Nights knows. So, and I'm not going to say it here. So, but anyway, so he decided to challenge Ysara, who is this like chaotic evil deity of magic. And Ysara was like, really? Okay, come here. Let's play a game. And Nesrus held himself up for maybe 10 seconds. And as powerful as Nesrus is, and he's wicked fucking powerful, as powerful as he is, Ysara just played him like a tool, and for his hubris did not kill him outright, but for his vanity cursed him forever to be without a face, which is why, and to be without a physical form. He was so full of vanity that he would go around, not have a face, not have hands, not have feet. He would just look like a floating wraith that was the horror of anything that ever saw him, which is why today he still has no face. Well, as you may or may not find out in the series, something changes. And, well, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it all depends upon PC Action. They may be able to release Nesrus from his curse. We'll just put it that way. I don't know if they want to. If you ask Jem, she just wants that guy dead. So, Johnny, to answer your question, I would say Nesrus was the one that was created that has the most of me in him, because he's the one who has existed for over 30 years of real-world game time. So, there are several others out there that definitely have facets of my personality in him or in them. But I cannot say that I have a character that represents me and only me. That'd be kind of weird. I don't know. I'll tell you this much though. If I ever speak with Matt again, I'll certainly ask him and I'll let you know why he decided to do that. So yeah. Hey, Dougies, welcome back, man. Hey, you're the new follower. That's awesome. Hey, yeah, you just watched our second episode. Decent start off, very interested. Just stop by, say hi. Hi, Dougie. I'm gonna. So if you're talking about season 1, episode 2, if so, and you just watched that, oh man, I feel bad for you. The audio was totally whacked out. Yeah. Oh, S2E2. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, so you just watch it from the tower, or from the vault of the 5, and now you're moving forward. Season 1 is fun. It's a lot of fun, and we have some fantastic players who are no longer in the game. Lisa and Sam and Wraith, unfortunately, they're not with us anymore in this campaign. They dropped off in Season 2. For a variety of reasons. And if you come up to episode 5 in season 2, there's also a recap video which you can watch that will give you all of season 1 and a portion of season 2 up to episode 5. So you can even cheat. But yeah, welcome back. And thanks for watching, man. I'm glad you guys are, I'm glad you're enjoying it. So, I forget what the hell I was talking about. And I do that frequently. All right, where am I here? Let's see. Another way to move a map, by the way, is to press and hold down space bar. That will then change the icon as soon as you left click and move it around. Okay, so we know that the range of mountains is in here. We know also that this gets pretty thick in that area. Let me turn this back to 100, which was the scale of these large mountains in here. And, that's really small. What happened? Why is that so small? Am I on the small? Oh, because I'm on the small. Oh, you know why? I'm a dumbass. The actual Wonder Draft is on a monitor over here. What you guys see and what I'm looking at is the broadcast copy of it. This is me not having enough alcohol. Cheers. By the way, I have a question to ask everyone here. What is your... first off, do you guys drink alcohol when you are playing a tabletop role-playing game? And if so, what is your drink of choice? This is a Dark and Stormy, which is Gosling's Ginger Beer, Gosling's Dark Seal Rum, or Black Seal Rum, and freshly squeezed lime juice. An actual Dark and Stormy, I think, is just the rum and the ginger beer. But yeah, sometimes and yes. Okay, so click on the proper thing here and then come back up in here. All right, cool. So let me zoom out a little bit. All right, so this comes in here kind of, yeah, we'll make this range huge. All right, maybe not that huge. You never drink alcohol, but the Crystal Light Decaf Iced Tea, you do drink it pass for ale. I didn't know that you were teetotaler, Johnny. I didn't know. Johnny and I have known each other for decades. He's another one of those gamers that has just been around forever, like me. However, he looks better. So let me come in here. Okay, and bring in some more mountains here. And we're going to have this range stand out a little bit. Oh, I love you too, brother. Let me put this up in here. Okay, cool. This is still, I don't really like mountains that kind of do this T-junction. I honestly don't. As far as I know, it doesn't actually happen in nature, and it looks really unrealistic. So I'm going to make a couple modifications for this detailed map and to provide a little bit of a plausible reason. You'll also notice here that this range really does seem to have all of its peaks and lines. Well, that's because that's the way that the brush went. But that's okay. We're going to change the little bit thing. Am I going to be rolling at NYRF? Yeah. So NYRF is the New York Renaissance Fair. That's over there. I have a Viking Village that I own and operate. It's the Skaldvik Viking Village. So if any of the Skaldvikians are watching this, hi. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'll be there. I'll be telling stories live and some of the old Norse Eddas as usual. So yeah, you'll be able to find me there, 100%. Okay, we're going to break this up a little bit. Let's have this kind of, yeah, there we go. That's kind of cool. And then we'll add in some foothills and stuff like that. I may not be there. It depends upon where certain things in my life take me. I may not be there always on every weekend. While I've been acting for decades, I'm just now starting to get into voiceover. And if I happen to get a gig and agent calls me into, if I have an agent by that time, an agent calls me into, or a client calls me into a studio, you have to be there. Like some of them just want you there immediately. So it really does depend. But yeah, you should see me there most of the time. Let's see. And, oh, Lizzie, really? Oh, New York Ren Fair? Yay! Huzzah! Man, I've been there since 1992. I can't even tell you how much I don't want to hear huzzah anymore. It's just like, huzzah! But yeah, I do like fair season. I absolutely like fair season. Here's some of the music. Okay, cool. All right, so we have the basis of what we're doing here. And there was a range of hills and stuff like that there. So let me bring this back. Let's create some hills. Now, the shading on this particular icon is on the right. The shading of these icons are on the left. That's not going to work for me, but the cool part is that I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here so you can see. If you press and hold down the Alt key in WonderDraft, you can then just change the shading. That's pretty neat. And for those of you who are considering using WonderDraft, you'll notice it uses a little bit of a randomization. Tell me that's not cool. So everything doesn't look cookie cutter. And unless you are really anal about where things go on your map, you don't even have to worry about it. So that's just freaking awesome. I'm going to come in here. I want this to be in this area. I'm holding down the Alt key so it switches up a little bit. I'm going to change the placement rate and the density. Let's see what this does. Oh, God. All right, so it makes it a lot thicker. Oh, that breaks up a little bit, but gives me clumps and clusters. Oh, I kind of like that. All right, cool. Cool. That kind of works. We'll make this nice and hilly, and then we'll get in some smaller hills in here. Oh yeah, see, now look at that. Tell me this isn't freaking awesome. And wait till we start entering into the tree symbols and whatnot. So, yeah, right, Lizzie, I'm telling you, this thing is, Man, this is fantastic. I absolutely love this program. This is why I use it now for everything. When I was creating the Evandale maps out of Photoshop like this took freaking forever. I mean, just take a look at, no, not that. Take a look at, I wanted to create something here. Hold on. View actual size. So this is the actual resolution of the native resolution. I wanted to create something that was absolutely believable. Take a look at the Black Feather territory. You know how long that took? I mean, this is not, I didn't borrow this from like, from northern Norway or anything like that. This is all hand-drawn fjords. And thanks, Lizzie. This is all hand-drawn stuff. And it's like, it took forever to do this. Each of these little inlets or rivers coming down now off of this range were all hand-drawn. And you have pining through the fjord. Not yet. I am not pining through the fjords just yet. I am still alive, damn it. Don't you go killing me. No TPK for the GM. No TPK. Bad Manda. There. So, so it took a long time. And I'm sitting here like, how am I ever going to churn out maps of with any regularity and just be able to get stuff done? So I would for a long time just like, it's going to take me forever. Well, fortunately, I discovered this. I forget how I came across it, but it ended up being just incredible. And I kind of love Wonder Draft. And like, hey, Wonder Draft, at Wonder Draft, somebody ping Wonder Draft and let them know that we're constantly plugging them. Yeah, I really love this. Look at this thing, man. So I want these foothills to come all the way down and to line this area. I really like these natural valleys that were created. We're going to put some stuff in there for sure. Oh, my 80s just totally came out for sure. And we'll pop. Ooh, I kind of like that as is. All right, who here remembers the World of Greyhawk map? There was an area that was very much like this, and a lich or something like that lived in it. What the hell was that? What was that area called? See if you guys remember. Let's see here. Let's have some more hills come out over here. No, it wasn't Tomb of Horrors. That was just an adventure that you can get. That was a separate module. No, it was something else, something different. Oh man, yeah, there we go. Let's have some smaller mountains come down and look at that. That's freaking awesome. It was, well, yeah, Tomb of Horrors was set in Greyhawk. But it was, oh, for crying out loud. Hold on, I need to find this now. This is going to drive me insane. Hold on. World of Greyhawk. Excuse me. No, Gary. He did spell it with a G-R-E-Y. Let's see. No, Asarak? No. Hold up. Oh, man. Oh, dude. This is like... Adventure awaits. Greyhawk Adventure. Oh, man. That's not the old map, is it? Is that the old map? Hold up. Let me see. Can I open this up in a new tab and then get in there? Ugh. No, I can't. Wow. I really can't do that. Let me see if I could find a World of Greyhawk. Let's go into image search. Tools. Size. Large. Let's see. Oh, man! I had that book! Oh, man. I can't even remember. Oh, wow. I even kind of remember the waxy cover it had. Wow, man, this is, holy crap. Yeah, Flaness. Wow. No, it was like right in, oh, wow, it just came to me and I forget what it was. You still had the box set. Which one? There was a blue that came out first, then there was a red. I started playing with the blue, and I want to say there was another one that had, the book set had a tan cover. And I think that kind of predated it, but was immediately after Chainmail, which had a light blue color. Nerd. Gold and red. Gold box. Gold. That was that early 80s? Was that a thing? Oh, man. Or gold and red was like the one box. It was gold and red. Is this it here? Oh, my God. This is it. Hey, no, I don't want to drop the image there. I want to take a look at this damn thing. Okay. Can I? Oh, wow. Woolly Bay. Oh, man. Look at this. Oh, dude, this was scanned in. Look at that. It has a fold in it. All right, where is it? It's got it. The Duchy of Ernst. It's like a really bad EBM impression. Like Ernst, 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 Ernst. Narwhal, Cron Hills. Oh, man, this is... I don't see it. I don't see it. Nope, I don't see it. Oh, well. So, anyway, there was a little area there that was inhabited by someone who was really evil. And that was that. It's like if you went in there, you were just guaranteed to die. At the edge of Flanness is a seemingly endless landscape of the blue-black ice, filling the northern horizon beyond the Bernil Forest and Blackmoor. The source of these rolling fields of ebony ice has never been explained. On the coast dwell the Backlanish Guriak folk. On the icy sea side are the Zea, related to the ice barbarians. Strange Arctic monsters prowl this place, and the few humans living here fear to enter it without strong magic protection. These barbarians speak of the... That was the CMP that I found. Okay, thank you. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't Woolly Bay. It was like smack dab in the middle of the map, directly above the capital city of Greyhawk or something like that. But anyway. Okay, cool. So we have... Wow, that's pointed. Hold up. Let me break this up a little bit. I'm going to reduce the size of this. You can do that just by holding down Alt. While it does flip it, it flips it only temporarily. So let's break this up a little bit here. I really don't like how that's looking. I don't like how this is looking. But you know what? Magic created it, right? Cool. So I can always take my eraser and... Okay, it's a little bit too erasy. And... well, that's certainly breaking it up, but now it's looking like a freaking rocket ship. Magic Mountains! It is. Ask you about Dragonlance stuff, and I still have all that rattling around. Well, we're old. It probably fell out. Probably. I'm like, I forget to breathe. I mean, that's been my long-standing saying forever. It's like, I do totally forget to breathe sometimes. Wonder Draft. I'm telling you. Fantastic. So... this kind of looks okay. Kinda. No, I like that. I want those mountains right there. I don't know which mountain that is, but that looks pretty cool. Maybe. I don't know if I like that better. Hold up. Let me get in. That's what mountains sound like when the GM creates them. There we go. Cool. Sweet. Wow. Can you imagine the people who live in this region? Well, let's find out. All right. So we now have our map. We have the basis of the map anyway. So now let's create some rivers. Let's go back to our reference doc, which is, of course, zoomed out again. So huge. So big. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3 forks that come off of that. 1 fork that comes off of that. You know what? Let me just see something here. If I take... You know what? Screw it. Let me grab this. I'm just going to grab a screenshot of that. Let me pull this up in Photoshop really quick. 1 second. Yeah, clipboard. Cool deal. Okay, cool. So now I have it in Photoshop. Let me just crop this out really quick. Sorry, I don't want to belabor you guys with this kind of nonsense, but I do want some basis on the some basis of reality of this map. Well, the reference of the map, a real reference. Let's have this be a fixed ratio, 920 by 1080 or so, and that will be that. Perfect. So that's the region that we're... Oh, wow. Yeah, we're kind of off, aren't we? Well, I am, not you. All right, cool. Let me just save this really quick. And I'm going to show you guys how to use the overlay feature of this. It's actually pretty cool. I'm just going to save this image to my desktop. Let me close Photoshop. Now, I don't need that map. All right, this is pretty cool. Check this out. So, I'm going to Bring it up here. Hold on. Bring that there. Cool. So now if I go to, here you go. If I go to overlay and then I click on this first icon here, highlighted in blue, and then I come over here to the right, I can then select an image. Let me bring this over here just in front of me so I can see this really quick and get my desktop because that's where I saved it, and boom. All right, cool. So it places an overlay on here, and you can totally resize this just by Alt and then the wheel. Tell me that's not freaking awesome. So now I have an absolute reference that I can use. And I am pretty much way off. That's okay. That's all right. It's actually not too bad. You can change your overlay opacity. I mean, you can really bring it in here. You can kind of onion skin it if you're akin to animation. Wow. Yeah, the scale is completely off. But somehow, some way, I kind of almost... Oh, that's cool. Oh, no, that's right. This is the interregnum, so that wouldn't be there in this version of the world. So we're okay. All right, I'm going to... Let me do this really quick. Bear with me. We can do this really quick. This is the eraser. Ah! That's the sound of the GM erasing mountains as opposed to the other sound. I am my own Foley artist. I'm not saying that the sounds are based in reality, but I am my own Foley artist. It's fantasy, damn it. Give me my fantasy. Alrighty, so we are here. Sweet. All right, check this out. So let's get our big ass mountains. Let's get in our symbol size of 100. Is that going to be too big for this? Yeah, that's going to be too big. So let's make them a little bit smaller. So instead, we're going to use a scale of about 70. It was close. The DM's hand of destruction wipes the ground clear of the peaks. You know, there's in the interregnum, what destroyed all of this land? What created like this river here and other things like that? The deity's name is Benos. Benos is kind of like neutral and kind of good. An artificer god, if you will. Not an artificer, a crafter god, if you will. Let's really squeeze that together. I'm going to undo that. But Benos follows the will of Scythia when in her realm. Scythia is a female. She created the concept of biology, having not just binary genders. It's not just male and female in Evandel. There's all sorts of genders. And I don't mean, difference between sex and genders. I mean born that way or those who have adopted. It makes no difference. Evandel really doesn't go down that route of politics or personal preference. But Scythia did create herself as a female, and that began the old school thought of women being the birthing creator of all things. I kind of went with it and just stuck with it as part of the canon of the universe. But if you decide to use Evandel, you can change it to be whatever. And I have represented Scythia as a male before, and as usually an incredibly androgynous being, because you can't really tell. She created she created everything. So, and if you look at her, she kind of looks like a tiefling, which if you play D&D, then you might be used to that. Actually, no, Pathfinder does have tieflings. What the hell am I talking about? She has horns and a tail. She actually looks more like every creature she's ever created combined, which is unfathomable. So, there you go. Now I'm retracting. Oh, now I'm retracing. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. That's the general line. Get back here. Where's my overlay? Let me change the opacity a little bit lighter just so I have a very faint outline. I'm going to zoom in here. There we go. Okay, cool. Come back into my symbols. Let me grab that. 70 seems to be about right for what we're doing in here. I'm going to change this density. These are pretty old friggin' mountains, and I want the placement rate also higher. That'll pack it in really tight. There you go. I'm clicking and unclicking, clicking and not clicking every now and then to really start breaking this up. But look how beautiful and tight that now looks. Look at that. Damn, that looks good. I love this freaking program. I'm going to switch to my smaller hills here, and to have these smaller branches of the mountain range. All right, that's going to give me the basis. I see here that there's water here as well. While that was probably created during the interregnum, I really like it, so I'm going to keep it as part of the new canon, right? Screw it. So, who are Stabrians? Who are they? Well, Stabri, in the world of Evandale, you'll notice I use a lot of apostrophes, umlauts, and a whole bunch of other diuretics. Diuretics? Really? They make you pee a lot? Diacritical marks. No, diuretics. Isn't that a Scientology book or something? Oh, man, I'm off tonight. Okay, anyway, diacritical marks with, like, umlauts and accents and stuff. That's as opposed to me creating a brand new font for PC, which isn't always web, which you can't, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Dianetics. That's right. Diuretic, it does make you pee. A Dianetic makes you turn into a Scientologist. Okay. I'm babbling at this point. So, anyway, let's just put in some hills here and move on. I really don't like how that's... Wow, no, that just looks like a forest. Let's get the smaller ones in here. Yeah, let's break this up a little bit. Yeah, Battlefield Earth. Volcano and Theatins? Theatins? Would you mind educating me on what a Theatin is? And Volcano, what do they have to do with it? Is this in the Church of Scientology? I'm not going to bash anybody. You're like, yeah, so that's a thing for... Oh, is it really? Okay. That there are Theatins? What are they? I have to increase this here while you're telling me what that is. Theatins are aliens. Oh, they're the aliens from Scientology. Let's keep Tom Cruise out of the room. Okay, no, that's fine. Whatever the spelling is, just do it phonetically, and then we'll all be on the same page. It doesn't really matter. Okay, yeah, this is going to come in. Let's have that. Let's bring this in here. Nope, I don't like that. I'm going to... back down to 70. There we go. Tom Cruise's world, weird middle tooth, so on and so forth. Something about grades and levels. Which is the faith? Again, not knocking anyone that has the magic underwear. Are those Mormons? Is that the Latter-day Saints? No, I don't know if I particularly care for how that looks. Let's have these come in. This is a sharp thing. Magic underwear. It's a thing. It's somewhere, somehow. There's like, or is that Scientology? It's like you can purchase your... It's not magic underwear. They call it something else. But it is a specific undergarment that you wear as part of a faith. Other faiths do this. It's not unusual. Certainly not the first time. But it is definitely... It's a thing for some. You know? Recently I was calling myself an atheist. But I think, oh, that's right, this range of mountains was caused by, see, now that I recreate it, this range of mountains was caused by the interregnum, so it could be anything in this version of the world. There we go. So we'll just create a nice little basis for him. Up until recently, I called myself an atheist. Now I call myself agnostic, and there's a reason for that. I really follow science and the scientific method, and I firmly believe that I cannot prove nor disprove, and I don't believe that science can either, the existence of deity. Nor do I believe that that is the actual goal of science. The goal of science is really to simply understand everything so we can finally get a grand unifying theory. Of course, we can never actually predict anything, because then you have to know the state of all particles in the universe at any given time, blah, blah, blah. But as an agnostic, I have to say that I don't know if there's deity. I don't personally believe there is, but, you know, then that doesn't make you or me any less of a person if we disagree on that point. So that's that. But the Pantheon of Evandale, switching topics from something potentially contentious, the Pantheon of Evandale is actually rich. There's like 40 deities in it or something like that, and all of them were developed over the course of time. Okay, this is looking pretty good as I definitely dodge topics. Let's see. Steve, your husband dresses up like Jesus at soccer games. His nickname is Viking Jesus. It's Mormons, and yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, the Mormons are the ones with the magic underwear. There you go. Told you. It's a thing. Okay, let me see. Wow, this is looking actually pretty cool. I like this. Let me have, we're almost done with the whole mountain phase of the world's creation here. Oh, let's get some mountains in there. Let's get smaller mountains over here. Apparently, I think I just changed the sound effect for the creation of mountains. There we go. Let's get some hills in here, too, all in and around that area. And then by the time this is done, we should have something very satisfying. Oh, those hills were created wrong. Let's get them in there. Let's get them. Oh, there we go. We're going to sprinkle some hills in over here. And there we go. And finally, let's get this and that, and then branch those out crossways and come in here. And then we will have the reveal without the underlying map, the earlier version of the map, the more 3D topographical one. Let's see where we are. And let's get that in there. Okay, so Sta Abri. This area in here is the Deadclaw. And down in here, this is the Red Hand. The Red Hand are escapees. If I remember correctly, southwestern Sta Abri was a point of contention for a very long time by a couple of factions of orcs that had lived in this area. And it was a constant war. And some orcs were part of a slave caste amongst them all. They were comprised of prisoners of war, political prisoners, criminals, and some of the worst. Kind of like Australia in the 1800s. And there was a peasant, or not a peasant, there was a prisoner uprising so successful that they ended up taking over the entire area. And they became known as the Red Hand. One of the original orc families were called the Deadclaw, and that's where they are. So you can imagine that it's rather handy that there's a large range of mountains that kind of divides these two peoples. It's pretty good because they might always continue to be at war, but there's a lot of work that goes into having to cross mountains. Just ask Hannibal; he had to grab elephants. I can't believe that SOB actually grabbed elephants across, what was it, the Alps in northern Italy? Jeez. Man, that's dedication right there. Okay, cool. Wait a second. Let's get them in here. Let's get this in here. Let's have hilly regions. I want a little bit more. Where's my little... Is that my pencil? That is my pencil. That's at a 70. Good. Let's bring these in and bring that down. All right. Let's see what this looks like without the overlay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the gods. You can hit exclamation point and then any of those god names, like hit Faen, for example. Do Faen, and you'll get a small description of them. As time goes, as I have time, I will start providing a little bit more detail about them. And there you go. See, chaotic evil, deity of murderous death. I'll start providing each of the races as well, or now in Pathfinder 2nd Ed, they are known as ancestries, and I'll start providing that. All right, cool. So let me show you really quick, while I'm here, the water tool. This thing is freaking awesome. So I'm going to hit water, and then I'm going to hit, oh, you can't see it. And I'm going to hit, here's water up here, that's up there, there's the menu option. Then I'm going to hit this one. This is the river tool. Check this thing out. If you just got Wonder Draft, you're going to fall in love with this. First off, over here on the right, you have River Source Fade In. You want that on if you are drawing a river that starts in the mountains, because it starts off small and then gets bigger as it goes. The roughness value is what determines the meandering state of it, and then there's another value which determines the lateral movement of it. So that alone is pretty cool. So, not bad. Yeah, death on death on death. You like it. in order to lay down a river, since they are coming in here from this area, click, 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 click. Double click to make it, double click to make it go away. And then I'm going to come back in here and do the same. And I'm going to use my mouse wheel while I still have this tool, and I'm going to increase the size of it. And I'm going to do that so it matches up right in here, because now it's wider now that more water has been added to it. Then I'm going to double click in here in that body of water. Tell me this thing doesn't look absolutely freaking awesome. I'm going to decrease the width a little bit, come down in here, pop that in, pop that in. So now we're going to add in a little bit more detail. There we go. Whoop, go away. Ah! Get back here. There we go. Make this one really small. Bring them in. And then I can go on and create multiple, oh God, I forget what you call them when they come out of the mountains like this. But whatever the case is, oh, go away. And let me bring this in just like that. And then apparently there's one that comes down out of this area. Okay, and that comes into that body of water, which we will have later on. Then this is going to come somewhere right around in here. Make it a little bit wider with the mouse wheel. Come back up, all the way up to the north. Let's have one come down out of this region. Oh, I want this one smaller. Ah! Hey, hey, hey. Control Y redo. Control Z undoes or undo. Let's have this be smaller. There we go. Yeah, I want this one to be a smaller river. Then you can come into over there. I'm sure that there are others here too. They're over there. So, but the area that we're going to concentrate on is going to be in here, right in here. Hey, the River Maker's absolutely fun. Oh, tell me, it's totally like Bob Ross. All right, cool. Now I still have the overlay here, operational. So let me just bang out a couple of rivers in here, really quick. And again, it's a fantasy world. I really don't care about the exactness of it. I'm sure no geologist is ever going to say you did it wrong. I have asked geologists to take a look at the map. I'm going to adjust the width here, and so I can just start. You know what? And I'm also going to turn the source fade in off, so I start off with this thing pretty thick, and come in and grab the river that goes off the map. I'm going to do the same thing here, like that. Apparently there's a river here. Good. Hey, go away. Ah! And that goes like that. Cool. Let me do the same thing here really quick. Oh, I don't like that. That looks like me when I was 5 years old with like a crayon and hopped up on sugar. Hold on. I'm going to turn off some of the roughness and the meander distance and get a little bit of a smoother. Yeah, see, look at that. Isn't that cool? Really like that. It's totally Bob Rossi. Let's come in here. And then you'll see how we do the bodies of water themselves, the lakes and what have you. All right, so I'm going to start off here with this one. Let me zoom in on that. So, of course, I can create that, which is only going to, I'm sorry, that's the settings. So, check out this tool. This is one of a series of random brushes. If I wanted to just slap a lake down, I could. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that. Tell me that thing is not freaking awesome. So what this will also enable you to do is choose a paintbrush over... get back over here. Choose a paintbrush, which is down here. And then with a brush tool, decrease with the mouse wheel, make it a little bit smaller, come in here and do that. Isn't that cool? Really like that. Make it a little bit smaller. There. Squeeze that out, enlarge. So it's not a clean brush. You can have it go rough, and you can do that with the settings over here on the right. So if I really bump that up, I can kind of create some crazy, some wacky lines. I like, take a look at that. Boom. That's not exactly a circle, man. So this is pretty cool. Space bar and left click to move. I'm going to increase the size of this and fill that in. Tell me that thing is not friggin' cool. So what this is doing is just laying down a layer of water you would still be able to erase this and reveal any symbols or land paint, which I'll get into in a little bit when I really start coloring this, and then that's when the map really comes to life. You can still erase the water and reveal the land under it. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to decrease some of the roughness over here behind the scenes so I can smooth this out. Lakes do tend to not be so rough unless they're on the shores of something, or it's really, really, really rocky, which is more my point. Okay, and then we have rivers again. So let me go back in here, grab that. So the people of Sta Abri are, I alluded to this in the past, or in the very beginning of this. The magic of Sta Abri is primordial. They believe in the elements. As a matter of fact, if you go to EvandaleRPG.com, you'll see in the upper right corner the elements of Sta Abri. I'm in the middle of changing the website up to be more like what the front page is, but if you have the opportunity, take a look at it. It's actually not all that bad. It really needs a lot of love. But nonetheless, head over to EvandaleRPG.com and you will see a elements of Sta Abri. It's the 8 elements. And if you start off at the top, if you imagine this, and then you go in I suppose if I do this for you, that would be counterclockwise, right? So if I go like this, and that's clockwise for you. Okay, so we'll go clockwise. So it starts off with representative of the sun, the element of sun, which is those types of magic and influences in the world that pierce other things. So revelations of truth in a very harsh fashion, literally burning away shadows or lies or something along those lines. That is represented by the deity Arios. And then you go all the way, and then you move over a little bit, and then it is the element of air, which represents more manipulation, creation out of nothingness, seeming creation out of nothingness, so illusions and other things like that. When you move further over, you head into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. You head over to the element of fire, which is both destruction and rebirth. Then you come down to void. The element of void is freaking nasty. When in the very beginning of this, I went into the void crawlers. Hey, Mike, what's up, man? Welcome back. I just saw the email about tonight's stream. Yeah, Mike. So we are now, or I'm going to now stream twice a week. So Tuesdays are the game, and Thursdays are now general chat and Evandale development and stuff like that. As we continue to go, no doubt Thursdays are going to become a little bit more focused. Each of the Thursdays are going to become a little bit more focused. I know that some of them are going to be interviews. Can't say with what or whom, but there will be interviews. Chances are on a Thursday we're going to do the MST3K version of Season 1, Episode 1. We're going to play that back, and then the players over here, we're all going to come together and recreate what happened in Episode 1, because dumbass that I am only recorded or only had audio from me, not the players. So we're going to have to fill in all the freaking dialogue while this is going. So, yeah, Thursdays are going to be a whole different content, most of it Evandale related, but in general, about community, about welcoming people like yourself. So, welcome. And here we are. Okay, this apparently comes down, so this river here comes down out of this area. And I forget what I was just talking about, so I hope you guys get used to that. No, that's a little bit too thick. Let's bring this in here. So what I'm doing now is creating the map that will be used as the basis for the next series of adventures within Tuesdays. And I don't mind. Every now and then, Lou likes to pop up in here. I'm surprised he's actually not here now. So normally he joins in, and he's like, and then he'll have a comment of something. Why is that? Hold on. Oh no, that looks okay. All right, cool. Hey, make this. There you go. So yeah, sure. Why not? That looks good. Okay, cool. Now let's. I'm almost at the point of coloring in the land here, and let's just very roughly sketch this out. This would be really, really flat lands if it's really that broken. So you notice that the cursor just changed to a pretty much fuzzy circle. That's because I'm adjusting over here. You can't see because it's under the chat. I'm adjusting the roughness slider. So I'm going to make it a little bit less rough, come in here, provide a little bit of detail. It's not that rocky around here, man. It's you ever look at a puddle? Puddles don't look like this. Hold on. I'm Control Zing all the way back. Instead, I'm going to grab, eraser tool. That's the sound of GM getting rid of water. And now I have this tool. Going to get the rough outline of what this looks like. And then I will increase the brush size and, river. Sure. That works. Increase the brush size later on and then fill this in, which I will do now. Ta-da! So, that's right. Elements. Right. So, air, sun, air, fire, void is nasty. That's the void crawlers from the beginning of the video. Then you have moon, which is opposite. Now we start entering into the opposites. Moon is opposite sun, whereas sun burns away truth. This would also be your divination. The schools of divination are said to be fueled by the sun element. Those things that cause obscuring or hiding truth come from the element of moon. Sounds like a high-pitched Egwene. That's funny. So you have the element of moon. And like I said, that's about hiding stuff. But it's not about hiding it away so it is never discovered. The followers of the deity of Seraphid firmly believe that knowledge should not be handed out just in the form of books, but rather should be earned. Teachers, of course, can teach you. That's not against the teachings of the deity of Seraphid. But instead, it is through education. They firmly believe in education. They believe in the preservation of knowledge, like the cult of Edamar, which is yet another deity of knowledge. So Seraphid of the Moon believes you need to work for it. The cult of Arios also believes that you need to work for it, but they really do a more trial by fire type of thing. In order for you to learn, you have to learn the hard way, and that means by doing. So it's sometimes the clerics of Edamar and the clerics of Arios will work together because the methods of Arios can be rather boring, in my opinion. And the clerics of Seraphid, they're the ones that are like all sorts of skulky and gothy. So, because they're like, we love the shadows, the eternal night, nocturnal greetings to you, my friend. So that's like the folks of Seraphid, right, Johnny? Isn't that you, like old school, Johnny? So, yeah, I may have to change up that Egwene command and have it be something else. I want to have like a picture of a goat come up, like, ah! Alrighty. So I think we're at the point now. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. This river here, I don't think exists in the first edition. Does it exist in the first edition? So this is the first edition of it right here. Oh, wait, that's up. There we go. The river is there. Okay. Red Hand is here. Deadclaw is here. Yeah, so the river is there. Okay. Wow, Nightbot is going crazy. It's like every hour it's broadcasting some info to you. So I apologize for the infomercials. But I can only have it be a min or max of, I think, 3. About 3 or so. There we go. Is the music too loud as compared to voice? Let me know if the mix is okay. I just turned it up a little. I'm taking a look at levels and it looks okay, but can't tell. So at the bottom, you have moon. Now, moving further, you have earth. Earth is protective, whereas air is manipulative. Opposite fire, you have water. Whereas fire is about destruction and rebirth, water is actually about healing, opposite of destruction, and stasis. Still water, as an example. Each of the elements actually have 2 facets to them at minimum. So if you take a look at water, water can also be poisoned because a body of still water, related to those that drink it. Water itself is a whole ecology, or ecosystem rather, full of life. To them, it's not poisonous, but to those who define it as such, it is poisonous. Oh, you can't hear any music? How about now? You hear music? Hold on. How's that? Yup. Okay, is it too loud now as compared to... Oh, wow. I feel like I'm overmodulating. Hold on. Okay, oh, it's too loud? How's that? Any better? As compared to my voice overlaying it? Man, I should just like pick up my phone and hit the stream and find out. All right. Well, I'm going to assume until you tell me otherwise that this is okay. So opposite fire, you have earth, and then finally opposite void, you have the. Just go a punch softer on the music. Okay, hold up. It's starting over. All right. When it comes back up, let me know. So, and I'll also reduce myself here a little bit. Where's my gain? Oh man, my gain isn't even up. All right, how's that? There we go. Alrighty, so sun, air, fire, void, moon, earth, water, then spirit. Spirit is the eighth and last one. Spirit is opposite void. As far as spells go, void is more about debuff, spirit is about buff. Think about it that way. But spirit also involves the realm of the dead. It's also about, it's more on the lawful side of things if you want to go that route, and represents represents the status quo as far as the way that things go, whereas void is more about entropy, and really ultimately all things will come to a standstill unless acted upon by an opposite and equal reaction. Physics. So Evandale's pretty much steeped in that kind of stuff. Let me grab this, bring this all the way up. By the way, there's about a 10 to 15 second delay from typing to the chat display. Really? You know what? Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can figure out why that is. Deleted messages, show timestamp, mod icons, blah, 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 blah. I do not have a... I don't have any settings here that within Twitch that would determine a delay. At least none that I can see immediately. I can see that slow mode is off. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see anything here that would cause a delay. That's interesting, and thank you for telling me that, because that explains certain things that that I've noticed. By the way, and how's the balance between voice and music? Let me know, because I can't hear what you hear until I come back to the stream and listen to it, or if I like to grab my phone and do that, but that's boring for you to watch. And if it's okay, then I'll just take a picture of the settings on my mixer, and that'll be good. Then I'll just reuse those settings. Okay, I want to... Oh, wow. So the width of this... Oh, so it is good right now. Okay. And is it good and loud? Like, you don't have to blast your TV to hear anything? Because I can barely hear myself now in my headset. Oh, there we go. Now I can hear myself. All right. Anyway, as always, let me know, because the only reason why I'm streaming is because you guys are here. On speakers, sounds good. On headphones, it may be a little bit loud. Good to know. Okay. So I don't really have a way to... I mean, I can turn it down further. But that's really good to know. Thanks, man. Okay, so everyone has... All right, so we're at that point where it's good for some and bad for others. So that's that good even point, you know. So we'll keep it that way. Let me just create this. Oh, wow, that doesn't... Not liking that. Okay, I'm going to create this one last bit of river, and then that will be it. So each of the tribes of Sta'abri, now that I've gone over the various elements, each of the tribes of Sta'abri worship one, or worship in a way, practice is another word. What I just do? I don't know what the hell I just. Oh, okay. Meh. Get it? Oh, I went to a different icon. Hold on. Sorry about that. Worship is one way of looking at it. Practice is another. They practice the magic of their element. The shamans, which are the spiritual leaders of each of the tribes of Sta'abri, they are the ones who dictate the eventual teachings of future generations until another shaman, with their antecessor, if you will, antecessor, no, their predecessor, no, that comes before, their succeeding shaman, that one may override it. On the martial aspect, while you have the shaman overseeing the spiritual affairs of each tribe, including Red Claw, Dead Hand, or what have you, or Red Hand, Dead Claw. I only created it. It's not like I'm expected to actually memorize this stuff. You have the warlord. So shaman oversees spiritual, warlord oversees martial, and together they then rule each of the tribes. Interestingly, each tribe then has one other. Now, the shamans and the warlords will typically oversee a local tribe, while that tribe is a part of a much larger clan. Those clans, as a matter of fact, if you take a look at the World of Evandale account on Instagram, yeah, take a look at our Insta, you're going to see oh no, damn it, it's not there anymore. There was a LARP that was based in Sta'abri in this world. It was called Saga's LARP. I think the instant for that still exists. I think. The LARP isn't running. It was a playtest in 2015. Mutvia certainly was a LARP, though, for 2 years. That was frightening. On the Insta, I'll start posting some of the stuff about Sta'abri, because now it's relevant, and we're here. Anyway, at the head of each of the clans is another spiritual leader, not just of the tribe. The shaman's in charge of the tribe. At the head of the clan is another leader called a Sajai. That's S-A-J-A-I. They are connected somehow with all of the other Sajai of all of the other clans. And they are the sole reason why Sta'abri has never been successfully invaded by any exterior source. While Sta'abri constantly fights each other, just like the princes of Mutvia, there is something about the land in that area that unifies them. In Sta'abri, it is the powers of the Sajai network, if you will, kind of like the Nosferatu network in Vampire the Masquerade. Another game I really enjoy. But the Sajai will come together. They will inform each other of impending disaster, and that communication goes out like that, and warlords are immediately mobilized. And so the entire country or nation of tribes will then come together against foreign influencers or outsiders, or attackers, or what have you. And those outsiders get crushed. And you can't even say that the tribes of Sta'abri are primitive by comparison. Take a look at Mutvia. The rest of the world has like guns. I mean, the old Pathfinder First Edition class called the Gunslinger still exists as far as I'm concerned in the world of Evandale. I love it so much, and the dwarves are the ones who are responsible for these emerging weapons. While, and yet Mutvia doesn't have them. They're kind of backwards. They kind of like, they're xenophobic. They don't want outsiders. Well, it's the same way with Sta'abri, but Sta'abri excels when it comes to magic, particularly elemental magic. Now, while I don't have any stats for it just yet for Pathfinder 2nd Ed, I'm sure in the future you will see a release of spells or something along those lines. Okay, while there are little rivers and inlets and other stuff like that that I can add later, let's take a look at what this, see what this looks like without the overlay. All right, not bad. I kind of like it. So, from this point forward, we can pretty much use the land brush tool right here, which you can't see. It is, oh, it's actually out of reach. Hold on. Like you, like legit can't see it. To scroll down. So up here, you are going to click on land right there. And then you're going to scroll down to this little brush tool, which is right there. So this is pretty cool. On the right-hand side, I have already created an entire color palette, which you will see over here. These are the various things. You'll see a color in here known as the Mudfee Forest. There's also blood, there's black, green, and other stuff like that. You can create all of these by using this little plus thing right here. I didn't know that tonight was going to turn into a Wonder Draft tutorial. And let's start coloring this. So the first thing I like to do is click my brush, grab this tool here, if you can see it under the chat. This is just a soft circle, that's a hard circle, that's a very rough circle, and now we're really gonna start painting this. On DeviantArt, where I initially posted, oh, what color am I using? On DeviantArt, where I initially posted the Photoshop version of this, somebody had said, oh look, tribes living on a lettuce leaf. Thanks, guys. And the reason for that was because it was all green. Well, it's not going to be green. I'm just going to lay down the very first layer of this. The size of my brush is maxed out. And we're just going to start bringing some green in here. Then we're going to start bringing in some colors to this. Where the PCs are going to land will be determined at the game randomly. They don't know this yet, but their fate really is going to be left up to dice. And it's going to, I want a challenge. While I have an idea, I created the damn thing. I have an idea as to what is in each of these areas. I know I'm going to break this up into districts, probably lay down like a hex grid. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it'll be a D6 and then 1D2. That will determine if it's going to be 1 plus 1 or plus 0. Anyway, so we'll have like a 1D7 that will determine where they are going to appear. That's my thinking. And that's going to determine if they're going to appear smack dab in the middle of a village, which will prove problematic, or if they're going to appear in a mountain range where there's nothing other than maybe a couple of scouts. So we'll see. Johnny, have a great night, man. Have fun filling in the oceans. Thanks. It'll take a miracle. Let's see here. Your headphones not too bad, but your control on system. Okay, you appreciate it because since she's not here, you think you're gonna buy it. Oh, that's cool. Lizzie, what's interesting? Let me know what's interesting. Alrighty, so we are at the coloration phase. All right, so everything has now been laid down. I'm gonna use the natural change weirdness in the map here to lay in some of the colors like a forest and whatnot, because I just happen to like the way that looks. But we're also going to start off by creating a little bit of a spread of let's see, brush size, brush opacity. Let's really bring that down. A little bit of a spread around the rivers, not that olive green, something a little bit more. And what this is going to do is start indicating where the foliage is that the river feeds. It's going to look rather harsh right now. This is normal, this is expected. That's okay, because we can always go back over it. But when I zoom out, and it's going to look horrible initially, when I zoom out, I'm going to use a brush to really start blending all of this in. And each of these areas, there's an area up to the north, as a matter of fact, that is River Elk territory. River Elk territory is, as you can imagine, it's just all it's elks, obviously. That's their totem animal. But it's also all rivers. And it's like a heavily forested area. The land is ridiculously fertile. And they have some pretty unusual trees in that area, but they also have an amazing power of healing, and they say it's because of the water. They won't allow any kind of magic investigators from other places to come in there and check it out. Okay, let me start blending this in really quick. Where's my get over here, color palette to this. There we go. I'm gonna bring this in and start blending this in. There we go. Yeah, break this up a little bit. There we go. We'll also start laying in some trees in here. And we are going to create the grid. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start concentrating on that now because I know it's getting late for people. It's 10:20 right now at this point of broadcast. Let me grab this, and this. Let me just blend that, whatever. And come in here. Cool. All right, let's take a look. So let's lay in this grid. Take a look at what we have here. I like a pointed hex. Layer will be below symbols. This way the hex does not... Where's our hex? Where the hell's the hex? Is this not... Oh, because I have the... I'm a dummy. Let me clear out the overlay. All right, there's our hex. I want them to be in this area. So we're going to create these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes in this area. Actually, I might even be okay. I want a little bit smaller. Where's the... Oh, for crying out loud. A little bit smaller. And let's get that right in here. Yeah, that should be pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'll determine the mileage or the scale of this in a little bit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so if I roll, let's say 1, 2, 3, if I roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know what, scroll, just roll a D8, and if it comes up as an 8, I'll re-roll. So, if they come up with a 4, they're in the mountains, they come up with a 2. Actually, you know what? Let's have it be, so 1 and 2 are mountains, 3 are plains, 4 is a, this is going to be a villagey region. I'll tell you that right now. So 4 and 5 are going to be villages. 6 plains, probably hunting plains, and 7 will be probably more villages because that's water. This can be fun. I hope none of them are watching this because they're going to go, oh God. They're going to wonder. But you guys now have the advantage of seeing this and going, you know what's going to happen. So let's focus on this right here. Let's get into this land and start developing this. I know, but you know it's pretty cool, Amanda, because now you're going to be able to. I'm just seeing the chat, obviously. You're going to know if you roll a 1, 2. If you roll a, if I roll a whatever that number is, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I roll a 4, they're appearing right in the middle. There's a 1 in 8 chance. Realistically, 1 in 7. There's a 1 in 7 chance that they're going to appear in the middle of a village. Man, or maybe even this one. I don't know. It's going to be a little bit less of a chance there. So, we'll see. All right, let me get back to this. I say with glee. This is... Oh, man. I kind of feel bad for him. They had been... They had been really punished. We started figuring out the days so we can verify if anyone submits. If you watch the series and you figure out the date according to the calendar as it appears in World Anvil, which, by the way, you can find the link to right here in the chat if you hit bang calendar. Type that in, and then you'll get the link to World Anvil calendar. In the year 5802, it'll show you the first month. You can use the little nav bar up at the top to go through the 13 months, if you will, including the 10-day festival. They start off on the 9th day of festival. And I'm holding a contest right now that you can earn a VIP badge if you figure out the date and you tell us what it is, because that's a valuable piece of information. We've been playing this game now for a year and a day. Today's the anniversary of the stream, so it's only befitting that we start something new, right? If you can figure out the date, because I've not been keeping track, because I'm a horrible GM. Then we're going to give you a VIP badge because that's extremely valuable to us. I'm going to lay down some olive in here in this region. It's not exactly a southern, well, it is southern. I want this to be akin to the beginnings of a jungle tropical region. Lay in a little bit more green in here. Let me reduce this opacity so we could just have little kisses of green. And then let's get in this area in here. So The title of tonight's of the stream includes ancestries, and the ancestries in the world of Evandale. You'll notice there are Adriel. The Adriel are the feral elves that you may have picked up on in the past. They were supposedly the first elves that were ever created by Cithlia, and she had done that by touching, if you will, or forcing an evolution of the elemental fae of Earth. And these primal, bestial-like elves were then created. That's the Adriel, as played by Jaffe in the Tuesday game. If we go around, as a matter of fact, you will see that there are elves for each of the 8 elements. But listed on the website, I think there's only 6 or so. And the element, if you go to the element of air, manipulation, that's the Sadrath. If you go further down the elemental tree or the elemental circle, you'll then come across fire. That is the Biradil, or the desert elves. The Sadrath are the tall ones, almost extruded, tall, extremely disproportionate to what our minds typically think as proper. They really do look like that they've just been spaghettified, like they're beginning to enter into a black hole. Yeah, that's the element of fire. Then you have void. There are void elves. They've never made it into any game so far, but we will see what happens should the party or any other future campaign that we have in the stream, which there will be, probably with the same group of players, because these guys are freaking awesome. Let's see how that's looking. Okay, yeah, we're starting to get the foundations for all of this. This is looking pretty good here. And let's see. Okay, I'm going to start grabbing a slightly different color here. Then you have the Void Elves. The Moon Elves might be considered the Sindarin. We found out through in the last game that they have a practice blessing their food by doing that, and that's the blinking and opening of the eyes, or the moons. This particular planet has 2 moons. One has roughly a 90-day cycle. The other one has roughly a 30-day cycle. They're kind of like ours. Only it's like 28 days, but ours is 28 days. Theirs is like 30. And the calendar was initially based on the revolution of the moons, but not anymore. Anyhow, the Sindarin have that practice. They don't, as a culture, they can see it. There are absolutely surface-dwelling Sindarin in the Sindarin kingdom. However, there are these underground complexes as well. They're not Drow. They're not Evandale's version of the Drow, they were described as such previously, but they're actually not. There's no matriarchy, there's no spider anything. So it is kind of, whatever. Sindarin were just the outcasts because their actions against Avian way back, where one of them had created the very first blade and killed the consort of Evan. So, let's see here. Jar was so complicated to play and give justice. Yeah, they are. I mean, they've also had decades of real world development. They used to be these black skin, white haired. Now they're more of a slight purple skin, white haired. I don't know if it's still matriarchal or not, but certainly they all worship Lolth, which was the spider demon goddess. Had a harsh matriarchal government, and other stuff. I mean, you're going to know it probably better than I do now, because I've forgotten a lot. And certainly when they first came about, they were very interesting because there was no correspondence to them in the contemporary literature that I was aware of. Much of Dungeons and Dragons obviously was influenced by Tolkien. Brought in the elves and the dwarves and whatnot from Norse mythology and Finnish mythology. So it's interesting to see this variation appear in gaming history during the development of Dungeons and Dragons, and have the Drow pop up, which is pretty freaking awesome. I love it when new and original ideas come out. Yeah, they've grown up a bit as they now have clutches and dens who were broken away from Loft. Really? Oh, and they become more isolated. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I'm glad that Wizards... Was it Wizards or the end days of TSR that did that? Kind of curious on that. Try not to be dicks. Oh, you mean those drow? That's pretty funny. Let me get this over here. Where am I going with this? I want brush opacity up a little bit. There we go. Oh, really? Oh, so some of the more recent stuff. So even then, I think... What was the character's name? Drizzt? From Dragonlance? Was it No, it's not Dragonlance, is it? Drizzt? Was it? Or is that... I don't know. You would know that. You're up on that. You're up on that stuff. I've had my head so far up Evandale's ass. Drizzt, yeah. What's... Is that Forgotten Realms? He's from Forgotten Realms, isn't he? Oh, Salvatore's. Okay. Oh, okay. That's only in the novels? In what world was it, though? Was it... it was Forgotten Realms. Okay. Alrighty. So we are now in this area here. Let's see how this is looking. Okay. Yep. FR. Alrighty. So now that we have the basis of all the colors laid down, let's really get into it. Let's see what we can discover as far as the forests go. So we know that this area in here was very hilly. I'm probably going to toss in some more hills in there. But first, let me toss in a little of this Mutrian Forest green. Really decrease the brush opacity because this is a fairly powerful brush. And definitely want that broken up one there. There we go. Let's color this in here and break this up a little bit. Jiraxi running water deep now and a little bit less of a dick. Who is Jiraxel? Is it Jiraxel? Mind you, while I have Forgotten Realms in the other room, the source book, I don't really have, I haven't read it. Oh, okay. Oh, what's the DE? Is that Dark Elf? I don't even know, like I said. That's what you're here for. That's cool. Much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, let's get this in here. Have this colored up. There we go. Nice and green. And we'll start tossing in some of the tans. Again, this is just another base layer. This is all layer upon layer upon layer for this one neat little region. I think I'm going to keep the hex as it is and then figure out the scale. But right now we are creating the occurrences of where forests will be just through a kind of a pseudo-random process. And that is going to be our focus at this point forward. All right. Mercer's new book is coming out in 2 weeks. Is it D&D Cat? Yeah, I heard. Oh, man, I can't... Oh, just congratulations to him. That's freaking awesome that Wizards popped that in there. I absolutely love that. 2 weeks now, Canada has a big chunk about Dark Elves who have broken off on how they're getting into... Oh, no kidding. Chronomancy. That's pretty cool. Lizzie, this is Wonder Draft. This thing is absolutely amazing. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. We're almost at the point where we're going to... I think it's just you two now. It's just you and Manda. Blah. I forget what I was going to say. Oh, that's right. I'm just finishing up on the basic coloring of it, and then we're going to start laying down where the villages are and highlighting these 7 hexes in here, because this is going to be the basis of where the next Tuesday game is going to take place. All right, let's see here. So let's get in a little bit of this tan, break up some of this coloration in here, these blocks of color. And then we'll add in some trees, and that's when things really start to pop out. So that'll be kind of cool. All right, that's good. Let's get in some trees. All right, check this out. So they have a wonderful catalog of trees here that you can see under the chat. Oh yeah, to repark your cars. And well, welcome back. I'm glad that you decided to join us. Thank you. Lizzie, wait a second. Is this Elizabeth? Like Elizabeth? I lose track on the usernames, and unfortunately, like we can't see each other. So yeah, hi, hi, honey. So all right, we've got in here. So these are our cedars. These are our Christmas trees, which I think are kind of representative of your typical pine tree, because then you have these, which are pine trees. And if I click, click, and click, I mean, they're freaking awesome. That's kind of what pine trees actually look like. But these are like Douglas firs. So the Douglas firs and whatnot really only exist in mountainous regions and at this far south. They have to be in higher altitudes. So let's start laying them down here. And the cool part is of this program, wait till you check this out. While we're laying these things down, they are the same color as the land. They are little white icons, but they will adopt the color of the land under them. There's like a specific point where the land, a specific point of the symbol where they pick up the underlying color. It's like maybe only a pixel or two big. So we're gonna lay those in there, and then when we come back in, actually I have to do this now. I'm gonna come back into land. I'm gonna grab my brush tool. I'm just doing it quickly at this point, because you guys now pretty much understand what I'm doing behind the scenes. Over here, underneath the chat, you can choose what you want your brush to affect. I don't want it to affect the ground. I like the color as it is right now, though I may change it. I don't want it to affect the mountain color, which are considered symbols, but these. And I do want it to affect trees. So I'm going to choose my green. I'm going to come back in here, and the opacity is set just a little bit, so I really have to work it in order to get that green to pop. Look at that. Look how easy that is. Isn't that freaking amazing? And now, since not all trees are the same color, we're now going to create pockets of color elsewhere. I'm going to create this, quote, dark forest, and just pop, 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 just to create subtle differences in this and really have them stand out. There you go. Okay, nice and easy. That's it. Done with the trees, at least the pines. Let me come back over here. I'm going to choose my symbols again, get my trees. All right, so like I said, I've been teasing this whole area here, this area, which is where our villages are going to be. Let me take a look at the original map and see what the scale of this thing is. So, well, there is no scale on that map, so that's kind of useless. Is there a scale on this one? There is a scale on this one. It's way down at the bottom. 1 hex equals 75 miles. What was I, drunk? That's freaking huge. 75 miles. Bloodhawk territory is like, oh my god, there's 153. Wow, jeez, that's like 125. Am I doing my math right? 225 miles of hugeness. I mean, that's... Hold on. Alexa, how far away is Boston from New York? 169 miles. Dude, that's like from here to here. From here to like here is from New York to Boston. All of New England. Well, and then Maine up in here somewhere. That's immense. Okay, so we're going to say that this is more... Man, I'm going to have to shrink this. I don't want it to be that big. So we're going to say it's like 25 miles. I'm going to shrink this crap by about 2/3. And then I'll rework the whole map. I've been, initially, the world of Evandale, when I mapped it out, I had this, you know, it's roughly the same size as Europe type of thing. And I laid over a real world map on it, forgetting about Mercator projection, how things are bigger at the tops, at the poles. And it turned out to be 1 Europe, 1 Asia, and 1 Africa. It was like, oh my god, these continents are freaking immense. All right, so I'm going to make this... Wow, 25 miles is huge. That's freaking huge. Hold up. Let me take a look at exactly what 25 miles looks like. So, that's where I am. Let's go to Europe. Let's take a look at 25 miles here. Let me get satellite view up. All right, so the scale is. Let me bring this up here because you should be able to see this. All right, look right here. That's 50 miles. Let's get it. That's 20 miles. That's 20 miles. We're looking at the one whole territory taking up all of Sarajevo. The Red Claw, the size of Serbia. Okay. Yeah, this is wow. God, it's killing me. Realistically, this should be like 5 miles. Seriously, right? This should be like 5 miles big. This shouldn't be. This is like immense. So hold on here. Let me go to. Can I decrease the size of this? Oh, I can. Cool. All right, kind of screws with the ultimate plan here, but this is gonna make things a little bit easier. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I'm gonna use these right in here. All right, let's lay this down. Check this out. Let's grab some additional trees first off. We'll start planting these happy little trees. We have some happy little trees just coming in here, come down here, and don't worry about it. We're gonna go back over it with some color. We'll be just fine. And oh, there's a tree there. Happy little mistake. And we're gonna come in here. Let's grab these trees. Nope, let's bring this back. There you go. Apparently that's really thick and dense. So let's get this in here. Let's pop that out. And then we will color these trees, these happy little trees. Well, there's a nice little accident. Okay, where's our hexes? These are our hexes. Okay. And let's get some trees up in there. All right, let's have some mighty oaks. This is gonna be fun. There we go. This is what they make. Ooh, pardon me. Spear shafts and other things. And we're gonna create some detail in this area. Let me zoom this out a little bit. There we go. And let's grab our land brush. Come down in here. Let's get our palette again. Get the green. And start bringing these things to life. Now, right now, they stand out against the background. It doesn't really look natural. So I'm going to change my filter to include the ground, exclude the trees, come back in here, grab some darker green, and lay down the forest under them. There we go. Okay. Now I will reverse it. Get some orange in here. Maybe some of these trees are dead. And start changing the color of these things. This is why I freaking love this. Look at this thing. And then a little bit of red in there. Really darken things up because Evandale is dark. Wow, I don't have the color. Where's my bright orange? I don't have bright orange in here. That's all right. Let's grab some of that. Okay, cool. Hi, Connor. All right, Stevie, friend, you're going to get some tea and then crash for the night. Congratulations again, and enjoy your happy little trees covered by black watermelons and cornbread. Amanda, thank you so much for all your contributions. Definitely appreciate it. I'm so happy that you are our first VIP. Thanks for bringing people over to Evandale. And I know I'm streaming opposite Crit Roll right now on the Dungeons & Dragons channel on Twitch, or a category on Twitch. So not expecting a tremendous amount of viewers, but thank you so much for those that you have brought in. And yeah, absolutely. Blessings to you. Take care. Have a fantastic evening and sleep well. Let me come in here. Let me grab this in the mountains and start coloring that. Alrighty, so this is going to be the basis of the map, which will be used for Tuesday night's campaign, Tuesday 8:30 Eastern. And I think it's time now for some villages. So let's start laying down these things and see what we have. Honestly, Mike, it's the program. It really is just the program. It's what you can do with it. I mean, take a look at what we've managed to do so far. You zoom out, it just looks like little splotches of color. Oh, yay. Hi, Connor. So, but when you start zooming in, you realize what kind of granularity you can get out of it. It's pretty freaking amazing. So, right now we're going to concentrate on these hexes here. let's take a look at what we have and start introducing some pretty cool elements. First off, I'm going to pull up my menu here. Let me move this over so you can see it. I paid for the premium buildings. Orcish. Check this out. Check out these freaking icons. Look at this crap, man. This is freaking awesome. So, I definitely want some watchtowers. That's a little bit too big. And, but we do know that they are going to be in this area in here. So let's have a watchtower on the outside, right there. Hopefully I'll be able to see this with my poor ass eyes. You know, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because I do need to be able to see these things. Right? Tell me this thing isn't like freaking awesome. Let's have another watchtower here, another watchtower here, because we've decided that each of these hexes are going to be like 5 miles or so. Let's have some up here in the hills. On the other side of the hills, so they can see anybody coming in through the valley. And that should be good. I mean, you'd have to be suicidal to cross that little mountain range, right? What is this? This is a... Oh, man, look at that. Tell me that's not freaking awesome. It's like a meeting area between two mammoth tusks. All right. Well, first off, let's get our village. Let's get a village hut in here, which is going to look like that. Look at that thing, man. I freaking love this. This could be at the mouth of the river. We'll have that there. And then we will include a hut over here. We will include another... I keep going to the wrong screen. Another hut here. In this way, if they land in this hex, they're going to be stumbling across a village. Let's add in another hut here, which would be more like a shaman thing. And because this is not to scale, but more representative, it'll tell me what the purpose of that area is, because this being 5 miles wide, still, you know. We're going to make this the really, really busy one. Whoop. Damn it, I keep moving to a different screen. We're going to have like a... What is this? What did they call that? Oh, that's a temple. Okay, that's cool. What is this one? That's an Orcish market. Oh, crap. Cool. So that's a market. Let me get rid of that. Or let me move that. Let's have the market down by a trade route. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what we're going to use. Let's have the Orcish market down here. Let me move this up a little bit. Just on the outside of the trees by the watchtower. Screw it. We'll put it over here. Sure. That looks good. Okay. So while there are watchtowers in the majority of these hexes, wherever the party may land on Tuesday, they're not in every hex. So if they roll a 2, they're going to appear in the mountains. If they roll a 1, they're in the mountains as well. But they could be seen by a watchtower depending upon where in the mountains they land. 3, 4 is a village. 5 could be a village, so let's get some more in there. Let's see what this looks like. Let's have... What is this? I'm laying down an Orcish house. Okay, cool. Let's have village, Orcish house, village, village. There you go. So that's going to be a village. I'll give these things name offline. This could be a Fort Gateway thing. Oh, wait a second. Do they have a... They do. Man, look at that thing. That's pretty freaking cool, man. It's like a bridge. That's their version of a bridge. I really like it, so we're going to pop that there. Then there's a entrance to the south. Sure. Again, not to scale. Who cares? Well, I do. And somewhere else. Okay. I think for this works. I mean, it definitely tells me what the deal is. That's cool. Let me label this to be fair. So this is going to be 1. That does not look like a 1. Hold on. Let me get this to be... That looks like a 1. There you go. Let's have this to be domain. No, that's not a 1. That's a 1. I have to change the color of that, though. Now let's increase this a little bit. And there. Okay, cool. So this is going to be hex number 1 for their purposes. This will be hex number 2. 3. Oh boy. 3 period, 2 period. We don't really need periods. Why am I being so freaking anal? I don't need to do that. Get back here. 3, and then 4, 5. Oh man, 5, 6, and 7. All right. I'll draft up the key for this. We will roll a D8. Ignore the 8. Oh, for crying out loud! Stop it. Go away. Go away. Delete. Ignore the 8, and this will determine. If they get a 4, they're screwed. There's a 1 in 8 chance that the party on Tuesday is going to have a problem. Major, major problem. Any of the other 7, they should be okay. 7 looks pretty bad. 5 is like a 50-50 shot. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah. Yeah, Lizzie, that's exactly what I'm saying. If I roll a 4... Hold on. I mean, I could tease this right now. I'm just kind of curious now. Let's see. Yeah, so here's my giant-ass D8. Here's my D8 right here. Hold up. Let me get... I'm going to show you guys something that someone made me. Okay. Here. So... this is a dice tray. I'm going to roll it in this. Check that out. Isn't that awesome? You can thank Yankee Girl. You ever see Yankee Girl on this? You're going to leave your goat alone. So, that's the dice tray. Has Evandale in it. All right, here we go. Let's see what this looks like. If I roll a 4 right now... Ah! Well, I just rolled a 5. I can't really see it. Ah, it slid. Yeah, you can't really see it. Okay. Anyway, it's not magnetic, so. All right. Put that there. So, they would have landed in 5, which would have been this area here. Not so horrible. All right. We'll see what happens on Tuesday. But that's going to be the map. So, I'm going to use the export feature. Come out here. Let's see what we have. This is going to be Red Hand territory. I'm calling this map. And then I'm going to save it. And there we go. It goes ahead. It saves it. And we're pretty much done with the map. So, that is... yeah, let's save that. I definitely want to save that. So, Red Hand territory. And then we can use that later on. Let me bring it back to where I need to be. Alrighty. So, I have no idea what the future Thursday stuff is going to be about, but they will be a little bit more focused, I imagine. This has been a wonderful... I absolutely love playing on this. It does not require me to get burned out. I don't have to prepare too much in advance. But I can tell you that the future video atlas is going to be of Tala. This is going to be of the jungle principality of Tala, which is where another campaign behind the scenes is taking place. I need to develop that map, and I want to develop it for the Patreon patrons. I will use it as part of a video atlas for Tala, so you guys will be able to get all the details about the Jungle Nation, how it gets broken down, what kind of adventures you can find there, etc. And all of the actual details will be available to the Patreon patrons in the future as part of a World Anvil release. So if you join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Evandale, or just search for it, EVINTALE, you can join us. And I think it's like $5 or so. You become a cartography fiend. And that will get you all the maps if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And while there are other levels in between, 10, 20, and I think 50. 50 is the executive producer. Executive producer, you become essentially a god to us because software subscriptions and other stuff like that's really, really expensive. And you become a VIP over here. Of course, you don't have to spend money in order to become a VIP. But a major contribution to Evandale in some fashion will earn you that as the executive producer role. We currently have one. Definitely want more. And of course, if you are not running games and you would like to run a game and you want me to be your GM, I'll be more than happy to do that via a remote session. You don't even know how to play Pathfinder 2nd Ed. I will teach you as we go through things. That's pretty much it. So look for me every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Look for live Pathfinder 2e games every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Both times are in Eastern, obviously. Right, anyway. And that's pretty much it. So, Liz, Amanda, I know that you've already left, and whoever else is watching, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. In the meantime, turn the world back over to you. Take care, everyone.